All right, y'all. It's your boy Moolah this week out there, fire. I think I might got to do a video over, maybe two, one or two. Let's start with the responses to Katt Williams on Club Shay Shay.
Speak on behalf of the other comedians, but the only thing I can speak for is myself. Katt made some comments on Shannon Sharp's show about when I was on Shannon Sharp was telling him the story of some of the behind the scenes from Friday After Next. Let's start with that. When I went out there, let's just go back in 2000. I was the host of BET Comic View and in the season 2004. I also worked on this show called Live from LA. That was my first job with BET, and that's where I met Ice Cube, if I'm not mistaken. And Ice Cube was like, "Man, hey man, I like your work. I want to do some stuff with you. I want to put you in some movies." And Ice Cube started putting me in movies, which really helped my career. I was in All About the Benjamins, of course, when they changed the ending of it, that part didn't make any sense. But then he put me in Friday After Next. And just for clarification, I went out to audition for Friday After Next as Money Mike, not the Santa Claus. And that is the honest God truth. I had no reason to go on there and to go on Shannon Sharp's show and lie about any of that. That's what I auditioned for. Was Money Mike, and I guess the producers, Cube, and everybody saw something different. And I think that Money Mike character, Special K, was going to come off as kind of like
just one of a guy who was hanging around in the strip mall who was just kind of being annoying and almost like a crackhead type of character. That was
right.
Just,
so Katt, I guess when Katt Williams did it, they added the whole pimp twist to that character, which was actually a better decision and made it funnier, because ain't no way in the hell I could have executed that role like that. And I'm glad that they made that decision and they put me in a Santa Claus role, which was actually perfect. So when I got back to LA, they said, "Hey, your role has changed. You're going to be the Santa Claus. And here's the Santa Claus suit. Put it on, and here's your lines." Sat in the trailer, went over the lines, went over my stuff with Cube, and the rest is history. Had no reason. I just want to clarify that. Had no reason to lie about that. As a matter of fact, my manager at the time, Gary Abdo, who is still one of my best friends, who also helped start my career, and he's the owner of the Atlanta Comedy Theater in Atlanta. We got him on the phone. Just to clarify.
Come on, goddamn.
Here's the reality. Most Americans are broke. I'm going to prove it to you here.
Really?
Gary Abdo, good morning.
Good morning. All right. So he say he got receipts on Katt and witnesses. Here we go.
How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm good, man. Just for clarification, you was my manager at the time. We went to LA together for the audition. Cube wanted to see us. What is your version?
Yeah, well, we're old, and that was 23 years ago. So, our memories are what our memories are. You went out, you auditioned, they wanted you to play Money Mike. That was the sides that they had sent. The sides are the portion of the script for the part they want you to play. Those were the sides they sent. That was the audition you did. They said, "Great, we want you to play this role." My recollection is you had to go back and read for the execs from the studio one final time. And the night before that, we got different sides and they said, "No, we want you to play this role." And we didn't understand it. We really were under the impression, well, you had the role as Money Mike, but then all of a sudden they switched it up. Now we understand why. Katt came in, blew them away. He's an incredible performer. That was probably one of the most iconic breakout parts in movie history. I mean, that
Absolutely.
was literally Katt's first movie. You know, Friday was not Chris Tucker's first movie. Next Friday was not Mike Epps' first movie. For that to have been Katt Williams' first movie, and he exploded. I mean, that literally made him an iconic touring comedian, one of the biggest to do it in this generation. And, you know, the rest, as they say, was history. But yeah, absolutely, without a doubt, you were auditioning for Money Mike. We were told you had the role, and then that switched up overnight.
And I'm glad I ended up being the Santa Claus, because that role was iconic and not as funny as his. I like the pimp. I personally like the pimp better, but the Santa Claus role was just perfect for me. At the time, I was skinny and could run fast, so
and you could squeeze over that gate. So yeah.
Right. I just wanted to clarify that. And then there was no contract ever that in agreement with the first Sunday movie, because that was a whole different production directed by who just directed my Netflix special, David E. Talbert, about me playing Bernice Jenkins. That's something that David called me personally. David and Lynn are fans and have been fans of my work for a long time. And it was like, we want you to play Bernice Jenkins, and you know, and here you go. And that's what happened. And I went out there and shot that in one day, me and Red Grant, and that was a lot of fun. Right. And it had nothing to do with Katt Williams' contract or whatever. So I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like, I respect Katt. Definitely disappointed that you have to get on the air and explain something like this, but you know, that's the truth.
This shit is crazy, because he said he did have a role of Money Mike. He auditioned for it, but they just switched it up, right? And oh man, this is messy. Shucky ducky quack quack. Okay.
And I don't know what else to say. So there it is.
There's not much else to say. You know, it's indisputable that Katt played that role, killed it, built an entire career out of that one role that all of us look at and go, wow, that's absolutely amazing. But it's also indisputable. You were auditioning for Money Mike. We were told you had the role. You just had to read one more time, and then that switched up.
And the crazy thing about it is we had a conversation when it came out. He said a lot of this 12 years ago, and we had a conversation because I was on 14th Street in Atlanta, right by the Four Seasons Hotel, and I was driving down the street with my granddad in the car, and I saw Katt Williams.
Ice Cube even said Ricky Smiley auditioned for Money Mike role, right? But Katt Williams made it seem like he ain't even know nothing about nothing. I don't know, y'all. Y'all tell me shit.
Williams going across the street on 14th Street. And I said, Katt, what's up? Whatever. I just wanted to make sure we was good. He said, come over and have a cup of coffee with me, because he was walking over to Starbucks. And I went over and he went in there and got the coffee. We was chopping it up or whatever. Just didn't even really talk about the issue or whatever. I said, hey man, I want you to come out and say hello to my granddad. My granddad is a fan. He came out to the truck. I'll never forget, I was in my Ford F-150 and I came out and spoke to my granddad. He hugged my granddad and wished him well. My granddad was like, keep doing what you're doing, young man. My granddad was living at the time. It was just me and my granddad in the truck. And we dapped it up, and that was it. I mean, that was it. And I thought that we were good. I didn't know that we had any issues. And if there are any issues, or if there's anything that I've done, not only to Katt Williams, to anybody, I apologize, and I'm not perfect. I made mistakes, but I did. I you know, that's just the honest to God truth. And I did audition for what I auditioned for, and I'm glad that the producers made that decision.
Oh yeah, and he said he said he put in his contract, he ever been in a movie with Ricky Smiley, he got to be in a dress. Is that true? I don't know who lying.
And let me address all of the things with Gary. You can help me out with this because, you know, comedy greats like Flip Wilson played Geraldine. Richard Pryor played some roles on his show. Jamie Foxx played Wanda. Martin played Shanae. I did. Bernice Jenkins, Tyler Perry did. Madea. There's a lot of comics and a lot of comedy greats that did characters for the sake of funny, for entertainment, for the sake of the laugh. And it has nothing to do with nobody's comfortable in the role. Nobody wants to put on a damn dress or comfortable in it, you know. That has nothing to do with my manhood being lessened for trying to play a role and trying to put food on the table for my family. Because
it's a prop. It's nothing more than a prop. It's nothing more than a way to get a laugh. I mean, back in Shakespeare's time, there were no females playing females' roles. Every female role was played by a man. It's just part of an art form. It's part of what makes it funny. You bring the funny to it. I wish that.
Hey, I ain't even gonna lie. I was just talking about this shit earlier. In certain eras, you ain't bringing no dollars in. You got to put some food on the table. I ain't saying you got to do the most weirdest shit, but goddamn, it's still acting. Hey, certain comedians like to dress shit is too much, and you got ones who ain't got no food on the table, man. So, hey, is you judging him because he did what he did to provide for his family? I don't know, people.
I'm sure you remember, people don't know about this, the pilot that you shot for the Kings of Comedy TV show, Bernice Jenkins had a whole sketch with Madea.
Yeah,
People
I did a sketch with Madea, me, Earthquake, Tyler Perry, Niecy Nash. We did a thing called The Pew. It's supposed to be like The View, but it was a church-based version of The View, and it was just comedy great to see Bernice Jenkins, the character, and Madea. And I started off doing Bernice Jenkins doing prank phone calls on the Buck Wild Morning Show in Birmingham, which spinned into, hey, I think you should do a character. This would be a great character for this role. So we were all in our 30s, late 20s, doing what we had to do in order to be successful. Now that we are older, I'm comfortable in my job in radio. I'm comfortable in the roles that I get and the things that I get to do. And I just finished a phenomenal comedy special. So the statement about Ricky Smiley is not funny. I've been sold out since 97.
That part.
Every single show I have done since 97, maybe not big arenas, but I pack up those theaters and have to add shows in comedy clubs. And between radio and all of that and raising a family, I'm comfortable with. What makes me sad, I don't like the way that made my kids feel. And that's why I'm not gonna, go after him, because he has kids and family members and nieces and nephews also, and it hurts our family members and people that do love us when we say hurtful things about each other. So we want to wish Katt Williams the best or whatever. It ain't nothing but love over here just because we don't agree. Arnez J and I had beef for about 20 years. And
all right, y'all. That's Ricky Smiley. I done fucked up and hit the wrong goddamn button. So I gotta get the rest of the recordings. So 1 second. All right, y'all. This is Katt Williams respond. And this way Katt said, it's Kevin Hart responds to Katt Williams.